Alcohol abuse affects more than 15 million people in America. The solution to find freedom from this deadly disease isn't found in a pill. It varies from person to person. For cross-country runner Renee Cox, running has been the therapy to escape a life once held in the clutches of addiction. It was a lifestyle fueled by her time tending bar after dropping out of her initial try at college.
I sleep till 4, bartend all night, drink while you're working, stay whenever you close, like you keep drinking till like 10 a.m., sleep till 4, do it all again. So I was surrounded by people who did that. That was the social norm, and it was a very dark time in my life. It got to the point where I was drinking like every day, and before I went to work, I had to drink, otherwise I would start having withdrawals. And that was really scary for me. I even checked myself into detox when I was 21, and then I tried to quit, started going to AA. I just couldn't. It had such a power over me. When I was about 23, I started running, and I would just run not that far. I started at the FSU track. It'd be late at night, sometimes even when I got off work. I was still drinking at that time, but the nights that I would choose going to run over going to the bar, I felt like a totally different person. The turning point for me really was I ended up getting pregnant with the guy I was dating, and we hadn't been dating very long, and that was just I had a decision to make. I met with an adoption counselor, and she showed me something about adoption I never knew existed. You hear about adoption, you think, oh, you gave your kid away to a stranger and never see him again. Well, this was open adoption. You get to pick out the family. There are families that are waiting. There's pictures, and I just realized this could actually be a blessing. My son Michael was born, and I was still sober. I even thought after I had the baby, I was oh, I'm gonna go back to drinking, but something just changed in me then. I felt so much better without it. I signed up for the Springtime Tallahassee, which is a really popular race in Tallahassee, and I had ran one race before that a couple of years I had trained for. It was a half marathon, and I did pretty well in it, and I thought it was a fluke, and I was scared to run again. So I ran in this race with no experience or anything, and I ended up getting second in my age group and 9th overall. It was such a hard time in my life, and after that I was I don't want to go back to drinking. This is great.
A friend urged her to run a 5K in Tallahassee. There she met Argo cross-country coach Caleb Carmichael, a chance meeting that would change her life.
I think the first time I met him was I asked him a question about shoes when I was at a race. I didn't even know who he was really.
She knew I coached in college, and we mentioned that hey, maybe we've got eligibility, just joking. And she ended up having some eligibility left, and then it was okay. And now I'm full-fledged recruiting her.
I remember watching this video the day I found out I was eligible of the girls running on the beach, and I cried so hard, because it was my dream was finally coming true.
She went from a road runner to our number one runner, and obviously number one's a pretty important part of your team. Obviously you build around that.
Stopping the track team after 2 weeks, it had been one of my biggest regrets until I got this opportunity, and that's what made it so much more amazing.
It's amazing to see all the things that have happened to her, where she is now. I was in her graduation, where she's in now. It's amazing.
I saw that everything I had been through, that it was worth it, and every night that I decided not to drink, and I would see everybody at my bar I was working at, I was the only one that was leaving sober, and it was all those nights I had done that, all those mornings I had decided I'm going to run this race, all the times that I had just chosen to say no and to run instead. It was all that, it was my dream was coming true, and I still can't believe it.
Renee has been sober since September 3rd, 2011. She's already finished her undergrad with a degree in nursing, and she's working towards her master's to be a family nurse practitioner, where she can help people dealing with many of the same struggles she's endured.